Hey, good morning, everyone. I hope everyone had a great Wednesday yesterday. Enjoyed some of that nice weather. Hopefully, doesn't look like it's gonna be too nice today. Looks like the rain's gonna. I can hear the rain starting outside already this morning. So, I'll be on my Zoom meetings both morning and evening. Sorry about yesterday. I didn't realize the girls had a meeting also at the same time with their soccer team. They usually have it in the afternoon. So, I will be on both times. And don't forget about our special guest on Friday morning. It should be pretty fun to have them there. If you haven't started your book report, I would do it now. That's due next Monday. So let's keep working on that. Also, you should today be done with Unit 31 with your spelling. You should finish your last page of that. I also put the link on the sheet that I sent home last night, so you can start studying for your spelling test. Don't forget your test is tomorrow, so be ready for your spelling test tomorrow, and all that. Sorry, my allergies are bothering me this morning, so that's why I keep sniffling. All right, Lauren, for your math today. Today it's pretty easy. It's the front side's just like what we did yesterday, drawing the pictures, adding some, coloring them, and then telling me how many pictures you drew all together. On the back side is just as easy. It's a dot to dot, 1 to 20. Draw them all, or connect all those dots, and then draw, color the picture after you figure out what that picture is, after you're all done. Okay. On your With regards to your Super Kids today, I'd like you to do 2 more pages of the letter P, the worksheet set that I sent home, and write the letter P, uppercase and lowercase, 10 times, and then write that sentence we worked on yesterday. I can plan a picnic. Write it 3 more times. Make sure you read it out loud, okay? As you do those sentences. All right. First graders, today for your math, you have 3 sheets, and on the second sheet, you need to use your ruler. And when you get your ruler out, you need to use the centimeter side, which is the 1 to 30 side, not the 1 to 12 side, but the 1 to 30 side. So make sure you measure those from one side to the other side, using those rulers and making sure they go to the right spot. With regards to your lesson sheet today, on number 1 today, you're going to be writing 108, and you got to circle the number that's in the 1 spot. For number 2, it says Amy had 6 dimes and 2 pennies. Her sister gave her 3 more dimes. How many dimes does she have altogether? So do that, and then tell me how much money is that altogether. Don't forget the pennies. Number 3, circle all the shapes that are divided into fourths with an orange crayon, and the ones that are divided into fourths with color only one piece of those with your orange crayon. So only the fourths, the one that's cut into 4 pieces. Number 4, you got to measure those lines like we did on our practice sheet. Number 5, you got to divide each of those squares into fourths, 4 different ways and 2 different ways, and color 2 pieces of them. And then number 6, you're just adding. Shouldn't be too hard. Backside, the only difference is the number 1. You got to count backwards by 10s for the first one, and then count up by 2s, counting your even numbers. Everything else is exactly the same, just different numbers today. All right, to your phonics today, you're continuing your look at the letter U. All right, so on the first page, you're just going to be writing in, if you hear the U sound, you have to write a U in the middle of the letters and a silent E at the end. If it doesn't make the U sound, just leave it blank. On page 216, you need to write the word that matches each picture. Remember, the middle letter is always going to be a U. If it has the U, put an E at the end. If it doesn't, just leave the U off. Number 217, you got to match the word. They give you the words up at the top of the page. Match the words that go with the picture and write them in to do like a little crossword puzzle there. And then on 218, you got to fill in the blank. Fill in the bubble next to the word that finishes the sentence, and then write that word on the line. All right. I hope everyone, for your reading yesterday, watched that story on YouTube. The Grumpy Bears, or what's it called? The Grumpy Bears? I think so. In 249, you need to write the word that up in the box. They have divide, equal, whole, half, and halves. Use those words to fill in the blank. Then on 250, you need to write the word that matches each describing word. So what word describes clanging, ringing? What makes a clanging sound or a ringing sound? That would be a bell. So you write bell on the line there. 251 is pretty simple. You just got to fill in the missing letters and then write the word again. And then the bottom, find the word that is spelled wrong and write it, circle it, and write it correctly. Greedy bears, two greedy bears. That's the name of the story. On 252, you got to do like a little book report. Write the title, Two Greedy Bears at the top. Who's the author? So go back in that YouTube video and look and see what the author's name was. And then what was that book about? Write a sentence about what the book was about and what did you like about that story. Write that on the bottom line. Okay? So you got a little practice with the book report. I'll get you ready to do your book report hopefully this weekend. Rodney, for you, page 271, you're dealing with cause and effect again. We've been dealing with that the last couple of days. This time you got to either come up with the cause or the effect according to that story that you read yesterday, the story of the white sombrero. So you got to go back and maybe into your story and look that up. On page 72, you got to read the little story there and then answer the two questions down there about the person, Chris. 73, you got to read the passage, and then they give you three choices, and you got to fill in the bubble next to the one that tells us more about the most about that character in that little passage. So which one describes that character the best? And then 74 deals with contractions. We've been dealing with that in second grade a little bit. This is like, for like the first one, it's isn't. What two words make up isn't? Well, that's is, not. Now, what letter did they take out when they went from is not to isn't? The O in not. So on the last line you put O because that's the letter they took out. So that's what you do on the top part. On the bottom part, you take the two words and put them together to make a contraction. So like you will, we would write Yule on the line there. Okay? Shouldn't be too hard. I think you'll be able to handle that today. All right, second graders. And Rodney, for your math, on page 216, you're going to be multiplying by 2 on your fact problems today, practicing that. You can skip this page that looks like this. You don't have to do this page. You can skip that one. But then let's look at our guided practice because I'm going to go over a couple of things. There's a couple new things here today. On number 1, it says, Kyle tallied the number of children who wore green. How many wore green? So first got to count up all the tally marks. It says twice as many wore green as yellow. So you got to tell me what would be half of whatever number you gave yourself there. So if it was 8, what would half of 8 be? 4. So you got to tell me what half of the number is, your answer is, and write that on the second line. Number 2 is pretty simple. 453, right? Draw that on the clock. Now number 3, this is a little where it's a little different. This is kind of getting us ready for multiplication. It says draw 3 baskets. So you're going to draw 3 circles. And it says draw 4 oranges in each basket. 4, 4, 4. And it says how many oranges did you have? So count up all the oranges. 4 plus 4 plus 4. That's multiplying. That's 4 times 3. And that will tell us how that you're kind of getting you ready for multiplying by other numbers than 2 and 5. Number 4, draw me a small square to show the right angle. So show me where that right angle is. Remember, a right angle, one line's perfectly horizontal, one line's perfectly vertical. Number 5, draw all those coins there and then tell me how much money that is. 6, greater than or less than, you have that mouth. Oh no, sorry, on that one you gotta either put a plus, minus, or times. So is it 4 plus 2 equals 8, 4 minus 2 equals 8, or 4 times 2 equals 8? So you gotta write the correct sign in there. And then you have a bunch of subtracting and adding at the bottom. Don't forget to borrow there. The backside's exactly the same, just different numbers like normal. If you have questions, feel free to call me, okay? For your language today, second graders, you're working with the words give, take, or do and go. If you use it now, those words, you'd have give or gives, take or takes, do or does, go or goes. If you did it in the past, a long time ago, or an hour ago, or yesterday, you'd say gave. Yesterday I gave my ticket. Took, did, or went. So what you have to do is just figure out which word best finishes the sentence for all, these are 15 problems. So for 1 through 7 on page 208, write just the word, and then 1 through 8 on 209, just write the word. I don't think that should be very difficult. You should be able to handle it pretty easily. Second graders, for your reading today, page 125, you need to figure out which word best finishes the sentence. So like the first one, the teacher blank the recipe. Is it the teacher read the recipe or the teacher reads the recipe? it's reads. Remember, if it's one person, it ends with S, your verb should. If it talks about more than one person, you take off the S. Page 126, you can cross off. You don't have to do that. Page 127, you're finishing each one of those sentences with a phrase or so from the story Jalapeno Bagel. Then on page 128, you need to read the directions about how to make a fun dog fruit salad. Sounds gross, but it's kind of a fun way to make a dog using fruit. Then you have to fill in the blanks on page 129, the chart there. So, what are you going to make? What's it called? I just told you that. What are you going to need? Tell me all the items you're going to have to get out. And then on what it says, what I'll do, write the 5 steps of how to finish and make that salad, or that dog salad, I guess, whatever. Ugh. All right, that's it for second grade today. Third grade, today you're going to be working with sorting. Today, if I gave you a bunch of numbers, and let's say I gave you 2, 4, 7, 8, 9, and I said sort these numbers between even numbers and odd numbers. So you're going to go and you're going to make 2 groups. One will be all your even numbers, and one will we put all your odd numbers. It's kind of like if I said, think about our classroom and sort them according to boys and girls. You can make 2 groups, right? Boys over here, girls over here. You're doing that same thing, except you're doing it with numbers today. Most of the stuff on there is pretty easy. On number 13, you're going to have to try to figure out why did they put those numbers together. So in one group they have 0, 1, 4, 5, and 8. In the other one they have 10, 13, 32, 35, 57, 67. Can you tell why they put those in those 2 groups? If you look very carefully, notice how many numbers are in all the numbers on the top group from group A? Just 1 number. Notice in group B, they each have 2 numbers. So maybe they sorted them out according to how many digits they have. Group A has 1 digit. Group B has 2 digits. Okay. Everything else, though, there should be pretty simple. Just be careful with regards to 18 and 19. Actually, 17, 18, and 19. Those are the ones that we were working with yesterday. So be careful there with regards to how you're going to be going about working on that. Those are those long division problems. Make sure you write them up. I'll be looking specifically at those problems, making sure you got those down. Okay. For your reading's pretty simple today. You need to first read the story called Pepita Talks Twice. That's the story that's in your hardcover book. And then you have to answer the questions on page 332 on a separate piece of paper. There's 5 questions there. Shouldn't be too hard. It's a fun story about this girl who speaks 2 different languages, and she just does not like speaking, because some of her family speaks Spanish, some of her family speaks English, and she just wants to speak one language just like all of her friends. So you're going to have to go back and read about Pepita and what her decision was to how to solve that problem. Then on page 67, you're going to make a crossword puzzle. So you got to take those words there and you got to put them all in that crossword puzzle and then fill in all the other letters after you get every single word written in to make your own crossword puzzle. See if you can stump myself or maybe your parents too. Then on page 168 deals with the story today. Okay, there was a problem. Pepita did not like to talk twice. So she came up with 4 different solutions. So they put those 4 possible solutions, 4 ways to solve those problems there on your paper. Then it has next to each one, there's a plus sign and a minus sign. You have to tell me why is that solution a good. So next to the plus sign, tell me why that might be a good solution. And then next to the negative sign, maybe tell me why that might not be the best solution. Why that might be a bad choice. So you have to tell me that for each one of the ways she tried to solve those problems. All right? Shouldn't be too hard. I think you guys can handle it. 4th graders, onto your math today. Pretty easy day today with your math. You have lesson 93. Make sure you do all those problems nice and neatly. And if you have any questions, talk to Mr. Wasser. Then on page for reading for Javon and Dylan and Leah, got to read the story called A Hero for All Seasons on page 141. And then fill out the chart. You got to come up with 5 facts. Remember, those are things that can be proven from that story. And then 3 opinions, 3 things that someone might think. Remember, our opinion could be like, Mr. Holman is cool. Well, I might think Mr. Holman is cool, but Mrs. Holman might not agree with that. So that's what an opinion is. It's just what someone thinks. So you got to come up with 3 opinions from that story and 5 facts that you find there. Okay? On page 143, you got to go through the 10 sentences and circle the, or look at the underlined word. Now, if the underlined word has a long vowel sound like an O or an E or an A sound as the first vowel, then you put a circle around the word. If it doesn't, then you put a box if it has a short sound. So like the first one, it says talent. Talent. Is a is short or a long vowel? That's a short A sound, right? A. If it was a long vowel, it's a. So we put a box around talent. But then look at the next one. It says chew. Ooh. Ooh. That's a long vowel sound, right? Like a U. Ooh. So we circle choosing. Okay, and then you got to count up all your circles and squares and put them down at the bottom. Home team will be squares and visiting team will be circles, and count them up and tell me who won the game. Was there more circles or more squares? Then on the last page, you have all your spelling words there. They're all 2-syllable words. You got to tell me where would you split those words. So like the first one, pilot, is you'd split those words right between the pilot, right after the I, and between the I and the L. So I is a vowel. So since it's a vowel, that is the V/CV pattern. So that will go below the hat. But then if you go down to like visit, viz it, it's between the S and the I. So if the split comes after a vowel, you put it on the top list. If the split comes after a consonant, that goes down there at the bottom underneath the bat. All right. That might be a little bit trickier today, but just got to make sure you really say those words carefully and try to figure out where we would split them with regards to the syllable. All right, I'll explain a little bit more with that on our Zoom meetings this morning, and we'll kind of go from there. All right, I pray everyone has a great day today. Keep working hard, get that homework done. You guys are doing an awesome job. Keep up the good work, and I hope to see most of you on our Zoom meeting here in a couple hours. All right, talk to you soon. Bye.